to get the issues resolved, and we're going to keep you informed as much as possible. You have to remember that we're a government agency and we're bound by certain restrictions on what we can and cannot release. But we're going to try to work as well as we can within the guidelines to keep you informed and to try to make your job and your reporting back to your bosses are easy enough so that we can continue that level of cooperation. Again, what can you do to help? Well, if you establish a single point of contact for law enforcement, whether it be an attorney, whether that's a private investigator or your own internal global security staff, that's what we'd like to see. Register your trademarks and copyrights with Customs. I can't tell you how many large companies in the United States don't have their trademarks and copyrights registered with Customs. And if you want to get your products protected from and have seizures done by the CBP officers, you need to register those with Customs. It will assist them in getting your seizures made, and they will be able to have a single point of contact to go forward when they find this stuff coming into the country. And they find it all the time. We get calls every week from our inspectors asking us about the product. Get someone competent to examine your submissions and provide affidavits. And again, make sure that they're willing and able to testify in open court. We talked a little bit about what we can do, and let's talk just a little bit about some of the successes that we've had, and I'll show you how some of this ties in. The first case we want to talk about is the first ever investigative case in China. This was Randy Guthrie. I don't know if some of you may have read about it. In 2004, the Motion Picture Association came to us and identified Guthrie as the most significant trafficker of counterfeit DVDs in the world, about $2 million in sales annually. He ran a company called $3 DVD out of Shanghai, China. This is a picture of Mr. Guthrie as he was arrested in China. He's standing at the bar in the red shirt. Those are some of the other defendants with him. This case involved copyright, trademark material. We had cooperating information from the Motion Picture Association. They've been working on this case for several years when they came to us and said, can you help us out and do something? And an agent out of Gulfport, Mississippi, Alan Prejean, who's going to be going to Brazil with Matt and I, actually developed some information and started the case off and was able to call us in and ask for our assistance. And we had agents who were specially trained in how to do these investigations. We were able to begin conversations with Mr. Guthrie, and eventually we were able to get him to agree to meet us. The problem was China wouldn't allow, had never been cooperative with any foreign government. We have offices around the world, and I contacted our offices over there in Beijing and said, what do we have to do to see if the Chinese will cooperate with us? It took months of negotiation between us and the Chinese, and finally the Chinese agreed to allow us to come to Beijing. We spent, myself and a couple of other agents went to Beijing along with our prosecutor. We spent about 2 weeks in Beijing negotiating with the highest levels of Chinese law enforcement. We finally convinced them that we weren't crazy and that we would do the case and let them take the credit for it. And besides the fact, Mr. Guthrie was an American citizen, so they could have something to save face. The original agreement was that we were going to do the undercover meetings, and Mr. Guthrie was going to be expelled back to the United States where he'd be prosecuted. Well, in the undercover meeting with Mr. Guthrie, he made remarks about the Chinese women and Chinese culture that enraged the Chinese, and the night after the undercover meeting, the Chinese decided to arrest him on their own without telling us. At 2 o'clock in the morning, we were rousted out of bed in our hotel. We had no idea what was going on. They drug us downstairs, put us in police cars and vans, and sped us across Beijing in Shanghai to the police station, where we had a live closed-circuit feed of the arrest of Mr. Guthrie. He was brought back to the police station. Ultimately, they arrested Mr. Guthrie along with 10 other people, 2 Americans and 9 other Chinese that worked for him. We seized about $3.5 million in counterfeit DVDs, about